Hey,
How are you?
good. My dog is like a little gargoyle back there.
Hey, it's so cute.
How are you doing?
I am good. I've just been really busy.
I know
Really,
you got married, didn't you?
I get married in a month.
Oh, you
So
get married in a month. Oh my gosh. Well, congrats. That's
it's,
amazing.
thank you. Yeah, it's just, planning and all that jazz and all the fun stuff. So we're
I
getting
was
there.
married once back in the day, and during the planning, I was like this close to changing my entire career and becoming a wedding planner. It was so fun. I loved it. It's stressful, but it was fun.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I don't enjoy the process at all. I think it's like I have a wedding planner and she's amazing, but I think it's more like I don't know. I didn't really realize how much was going into this and like all the
Oh
little
God.
details and bless her, and everything. But it's a very good industry to be in for sure because
Yeah.
it's so damn expensive.
I know, and weddings aren't going anywhere, right? So it's
No,
craziness.
no,
But
it's good, but we're getting there. So what's been going on with you?
oh
Haven't
my
talked.
God. So it's so crazy. And it's funny. I was thinking back to our first conversation because you were telling me you're like, I started, I stopped, I went back, and I'm like, oh my God, I just fucking did the same thing. But in the meantime, in my mind, I was like, you know what? I was like so miserable at my last job that I was like,
Yeah,
I just have to make more money. So I got a new job making more money, which is great. But then I
congrats.
get into the job and I'm still like so miserable in this job. I'm like, I cannot do this anymore. And on top of it, I was talking to my sister the other day, and my 18-year-old nephew signed up for like something similar. It's not the same program, but she's trying to explain it to me. She's like, yeah, Mateo's going to be doing this thing called digital marketing and like
Okay.
explaining this program. And I was sitting there thinking,
Yeah,
I'm like, if my 18-year-old nephew like starts doing this shit and makes money before me, I'm gonna be so pissed. I'm like,
that's a fire under you for sure.
oh
Yeah.
my God, yes. So I'm like, all right, it's on. We got to just like do it. So I got to the point last time. I got up to the point of like just building sites.
Okay.
You sent me, I think, a Facebook message to loop me in with somebody that could help me with like the 5 initial builds.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I just wanted to ask you, like at this point, because it's been like 4 to 6 months that it's been on pause. Do I go back? Should I go back and do the due diligence again? Or
Um,
should I just like move forward with building some sites and like take it where I left off?
For sure. I think like just maybe go back and skim what you did so you can kind of be like just like, lay of the land a little bit just to make sure. I think it's fine. At this point, it's imperfect action and go. You know what I mean? Like we just got to move. So I think as long as don't like spend a ton of time on it, but as long as you go back and can be like, okay, like this looks good, this doesn't look good still or whatever, have them start building some of those sites. And then you just need to start back into the videos of building,
Yeah.
like you're on the build out. And then honestly, there's so many good lives that have happened recently too. Like if you wanted to move fast,
Yeah,
I'm
I've been like stalking the shit out of the Facebook group and there's so much good stuff.
yeah, like Ipe and I have been talking and that he just did a live. I don't know where the hell it is. It's one of them recently. I can try to find the link, but what he's been doing that if let's like what the best way to explain it, like when we all started, it was almost like beyond simple, like way more simple, right? And we were talking the other day and we're like, it's almost good to get back to that because I think some people get so caught up in like this whole complex thing. And it's like, at the end of the day, you just need a freaking map listing. And that, like, basically his point was he found like a location. I don't know exactly where it was, but somewhere and it's in the video, but he built a map listing. He even have a website and the map listing got like this one lead. Like it's not even a plethora of leads, but it was getting enough that he found a business owner to pay him 10%. Well, he made like $1,500 off that one lead because it's a higher ticket niche. He's like, why are we not? We all know this, we've all done it, but it's like,
Yeah.
you get so into the concept of the longer process of everything. And we're like, no, no, no. We were like guerrilla warfare back in the day. Like we just did whatever and like, boom, 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 just start getting lines out. And those are the quick deals, like where you can just start making shit happen.
Yeah.
So I will find the link to the live. I think it's definitely worth watching. But like that's the stuff you could be doing too in the meantime. You don't even have to build the website. You could have the map listing up and that's going to get a lead, right? And that's where you pitch a commission deal and work it out that way, which I mean, what person's not going to want to pay commission on a lead, if they close it, so
Right.
there's things you can maneuver in that sense, but That's a lot of stuff you could be doing too.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest thing, yeah, I'd say for you, just check the niches. I forget which ones you were doing. So, make sure that they still look decent. And then even, did you have 5 that you were submitting, or how many were you submitting?
I think, let me just look back at yeah, there was 5 that we were going to start with.
Okay.
Um, and I
I still think
believe,
you should do one. So I do think you need to build one at least, whether it's the 5 that you're going to submit and then you want to do another one, like maybe start fresh on the due diligence and then, you work through that because you need to get through the training videos so that you can kind of, again, know what the process is too, for
yeah.
future. So I would say that would kind of be the game plan, and you can choose how you want to, go about that, but that's what I would say for sure. And
Okay.
then you could start, basically, if you wanted to implement kind of that map listing thing, like do the due diligence, but then like just reverse it, like do the map listing first, and then you're almost in prospecting mode.
Right. Right.
So I think like once you get through the build out videos and you start ranking, you really can go into like the rest of the videos too, because that's going to go into sales, prospecting, and there's all these tactics I could tell you. And you're in sales, right? Like that's what you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that you already have that advantage, on the other side, where I could tell you like 5 different ways to start prospecting and getting clients, which is not necessarily like revenue. I mean, sorry, not necessarily passive, but it's revenue,
Yeah.
like you SEO clients, you can outsource that. I mean, there's so many ways, but that's how you're going to get stuff moving.
Right. Right.
And because the sites are going to take a little bit of time to rank and all of that. So you don't want to just sit there in the meantime doing nothing, right? Just stagnant. Like that's
I saw
not,
somebody post in the group about that they're like, do I just sit here now? Like, I feel like I'm not being productive day over day,
yeah,
like
no.
waiting for the sites to rank and all of that. So,
Yeah, and that's the stuff where we're like, again, we've all done this for so long that we have like, it's good for us to refresh ourselves too, like in that way, because it's like, okay, like we know the drill, we know what to do, but then we got to think back to like when we were fresh, and what did we do and how did we do it? And that's the stuff we did. Like we were just like digging for deals, and there's money everywhere, truly, if you just look. And a student
yeah.
similar to you, like he joined, shit, I don't know, probably 6 months ago or something. And like he was like overseas nomad, whatever. And then he moved back home, but he's just been kind of like so analytical about it. And I'm like, bro, you just need to like trust me. And he ended up doing what Ipe did, and he's closed 2 business owners already. Um,
Nice.
and he was scared. Like he's not like you, like he was scared to get on the phone. He's more of the technical side, but he's like, this is the easiest thing ever. I'm like, yeah, like it really is. If you know, just do it, like, and that's where you start to get the belief system up, like all the things. So
Yeah. And I was sitting there too, like just doing the training in my new job. I'm like, because I work with Fortune 500 companies, like Starbucks is my client. And I'm like, I have these people that I'm like getting them to drop like tens of thousands of dollars. I'm like, I should be doing this for myself. Like,
yep,
what
it
am I
really
doing? So,
100%. And like, and that's the thing, you just got to start there, and then once you start to see those sites, I think that again, that's part of the mental process of all of this. So that's what I would say for now. Like we have like 5 different things, but that's kind of game plan. And then, we could touch base next week. Um, but even just trying to set those goals of like, hey, this is my weekly stuff. I mean,
yeah.
small steps lead to big stuff, and again, we all have life shit going on, and it's okay, like as long as you just
Yeah.
continue. And I think if you start planting those seeds now, it is going to move a lot faster, because this is the stuff that's going to get moving, right? You're going to have action when that site's live, like, and you start ranking it, calls are going to come through, like that's when stuff is really going to continue. And it's not going to take so much of your time right now, because remember, you're still going through the videos, like
Yeah.
that's half of the learning. But other than that, once we condense all of that, you're just going to be in your daily process, which is, you could get stuff done in like an hour if you wanted to.
Yeah. Well, and to be quite honest, like I'm at a point right now, I was talking to my sister, I'm like, once I get through all the videos and stuff and just start seeing things move, I'm in a position where I may end up just like quitting my job. Because I'm just, it's so overwhelming right now. And she's like, dude, you're at a point in your life, like you could, if you wanted to, not work for a few months, 6 months, like take that time if you want to and like focus on something
Yeah,
else.
for
So
sure. And
I
and
might do that, but
I think the big thing, like we've had a ton of conversations about this, like within the group. And Dan's opinion on that kind of stuff is obviously you know your situation. The only thing is you don't want to put another stressor on that.
yeah,
I've been there, and like I tell people all the time, when you're backed in a corner, amazing things can happen, right? Like you push yourself to limits that you normally wouldn't push yourself to. It's very uncomfortable, but it's uncomfortable on this side as well. So which one do you want to do, right? Like, and that's kind of the game that you got to play. You
yeah,
just don't want to put yourself in that position if you don't have to. Like that's where Dan's like, sometimes it's not the best depending on personalities, but listen, if you are going to grind, like, yeah, go, you know what I mean? But just make sure the other stuff's buttoned up too. Like you just don't want to put yourself in a shitty, you know,
yeah,
home and life and that kind of stuff. Dan is very adamant, like that should 100% be taken care of before, like those are the necessities, and I know you're smart enough to know that, but
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I mean, 6 months is plenty of time. A lot can happen, especially if
yeah,
you start moving on these tactics of like, once we just get through the training and we can work on like prospecting. I mean, I'm telling you, you could walk into any BNI group, that kind of stuff, and walk out with 3 or 4 clients like that, 2 seconds.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I
That's
did
what I
it.
was telling her. I'm like, I want to like try to get some things going. And if it starts like with working my current job, but if things start picking up to a point where it does make sense, that I can see that, end of the tunnel, then I would be more than willing to just focus on it for a little while.
Yeah. Listen, your mental health is important too. And if you're miserable, like that's not a way to live. And
Yeah.
it's not worth money to be miserable. Like there's tons of other things you can do. So
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. Well, that's exciting. So I was going to ask you then, you sent me a Facebook message and brought somebody in. I don't know, is that still, should I just respond to that thread?
yeah, so like I think basically if you haven't submitted the Google Forms yet, and I don't know if you have,
No, you sent me a link to a Google Doc.
yep. So you have to submit those. Each form is for each website. So if you want to do 5 websites, you need to submit it 5 times. So
I
like
see.
just fill those out, and then you can respond in the chat with the group chat with, I'm gonna pronounce his name wrong. Shashank. I don't know how to
You
say it.
think?
Anyways,
Yeah.
you can respond in there and just say, hey, I submitted these. I don't know their current timeline on sites. I would say give it like 4 weeks, worst case scenario, maybe be a little longer, but it should be around that point. So I
Okay.
would say that should be plenty of time to get you through the rest of the training, right? And then we can touch base on prospecting stuff and just other things you can do while
Yeah.
those are built. But yeah, that's game plan. I think that's
Okay.
good.
Awesome. Yeah. And then obviously during that time too, I need to get through the rest of the videos and start building a site on my own. So I'll have plenty, I'm sure, to keep me busy. So
Yeah, and then you can like tag off your nephew, or you guys can. That's so funny
I
that
know I was like, which program? And she didn't know the name of it. And I was like, how much was it? And she's like, 4 grand. And I'm like, okay. I was trying to explain to her, I'm like, I wish you would have told me because even when I was doing research, I know there's like 2 or 3 others, but I think they all kind of learned from this program to begin with. So I was like, you should have just gone to the source, man.
Well,
So
listen, yeah, and I don't know who it is, but I mean, I think everyone teaches in a little bit of a different way, but again, you guys can learn from each other,
yeah,
like
that's what I
piggyback
said. I'm
or
like, that'd be cool. We can kind of help each other out a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, well then let's maybe plan on touching base next week and
Okay.
then have so you're gonna submit the sites to him. You're gonna start on one site, right? Like do the
Yeah.
like figure
I
okay.
need to get through. I'm at that, like right at that point of the training of building your own
Okay.
site.
Yep. So perfect. So pick one, do the research or like whatever you want to do. Honestly, I'll say this too. If you're submitting some done for yous, if you want to, you could like build a site for yourself, like
Yeah.
almost a branding site, in a way.
Like for
Um,
my company type of thing.
correct. Yeah. Like even if it's just name it your name marketing, who cares? Like it doesn't matter if you don't have a name, but I think just get something moving so you can see the process of how it looks is my point.
Yeah. I like
Um,
that.
and especially if we're going to start going into the prospecting route later, it is good to have something just so it's validity, you know, like, hey, like this, oh, here's my website, you know, like, I mean,
Yeah. And I already did the LLC and all of that 6 months
okay.
ago. So I'm like, so that would make sense. I could definitely do that.
Yeah, I think that's just something you don't have to think too much about, and you can just literally start working on that to get moving. Because if you start, like I said, prospecting and the way we could do things, I do think it's kind of good just to have at least like a one pager or whatever site up there that's like, hey, just here's, you know, people can look you up or go to the site
Right.
or cases. So that could just be a quick fix to get you, you know, so you're not sitting there overthinking another due diligence sheet while those are getting done.
Okay. Awesome. No, I like that idea. So I'll do that.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. I think we've got a good next step. And then as far as I didn't have like your actual link. So I found like the old like onboarding link and that's why I booked it that way.
that's
So I
fine.
didn't
You,
know if you had like a different link or that I should be using.
nope, you can use that. That's totally fine. It all goes to the same calendar. So, and you
Okay.
guys are the only ones that have that link anyway. So I know who's booking and all of that.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay.
Sweet.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited. I will get
Good.
on all these things and I will keep you posted.
Yeah, sounds good. And let me know if you need anything. And like, yeah, like I said, let's just touch base, you know, like next week sometime. And then I will try to find out the live that link was on, or sorry, oh, this is it. I found it right now. I'm just gonna tag you in it. So you can
Okay.
watch, this one. And this is like, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on. So you just, it's a little long. It's like an hour and 40 minutes, but, yeah, he goes over a ton. So it's good.
Okay. Yeah, I will watch that for sure. Thank you.
Welcome. All right.
Okay.
Well, it's good seeing you. Glad you're
Awesome. You too.
back in the run of things, and let me know if you need me.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.